it says that we are to follow after peace with all men, and holiness, the sanctification, without which no man shall see the Lord. Then it says to us, looking diligently, carefully, lest any man fail of the grace of God, lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled. And it's interesting that I've discovered that as I read the word out of Galatians 2 and 20 and 21, that the Apostle Paul says, I do not frustrate the grace of God. So it's interesting to me that there's a frustration that takes place in relation to the grace of God. Now I'm seeing that there's a warning given to the believers, those who are at least of the Jewish faith. They are now converts to be followers of Christ. And he makes this statement, make sure that you don't fail of the grace of God. And I just have to realize here now, how can, if God's unmerited favor is given to me, how can I fail in the grace of God? I don't know if anybody else saw that, Jeffrey, but I'm hearing here is that when God put his grace out on me, it came and found me, and it kept me in all of my ways. But yet the word says, I've got to be looking diligently, so that I will not fail at the grace of God. So it says now that there's a possibility that I can fail at the grace of God. Not recognizing it when it happens, I can fail at the grace of God. I won't become who I am because I have failed at the grace of God. And this is what he says to us. Don't let bitterness rise up in you. Because when it rises up in you, that puts you in a position to start failing at the grace of God. Amen. Amen. I think I shared last Sunday as a starting point that sometimes people live with regrets. I should have, I woulda, coulda, shoulda, and now you spent your whole day wondering what if something would have happened. And then you get mad at yourself or mad at somebody else, and it springs up what's called bitterness. Bitterness. I gave you the analogy of drinking some tea that's not sweet. When you order sweet tea, and it comes up to a point that you begin to get that taste for the sweetness of the tea, and when you drink it, it doesn't taste like it should. It becomes bitter, and this bitterness, it kind of corrupts the rest of the body because you had your thought and your mind set on the tea being sweet. Yeah, I know I have. I don't know about anybody else. I'm sorry. I'm in my feelings now. But the tea should have been sweet. But there was a bitterness there. It was an unsweetness. And the unsweetness, it turned it into a bitterness for me. And it didn't hit the spot the way it should have because of its taste. And a lot of us have a bad taste in our life. To the point that when we start looking at things, we can't see it for what it is because we are stuck in a place of bitterness. Some people can't move forward because they're still stuck in bitterness. Some people can't even have joy because they are still stuck in bitterness. Bitterness. Do you know bitterness can age your life 10 years? Bitterness can keep you at a point that it blocks your blessings from God. Because you get to a point of not even thinking that you can be blessed because you live your life with bitterness. Bitterness causes paranoia because you're always thinking somebody's talking about you. Based upon the bitterness that took place 10 years ago, you can't get past it. And the Bible says we fail at the grace of God because we open the door for bitterness to take root in our life. One thing about something that's rooted, it goes far deeper than what we can actually see. When something is rooted, it's under the surface. And it begins to branch out and create a foundation, Lord have mercy, create a foundation to the point that you get stuck in it because it's rooted underneath the surface. So a lot of things that happen above the surface, you think it might be one thing, but it's another because the root is under surface and it is laying a foundation. That's why if you're going to speak, declare, and decree some things, you got to speak it and make sure you cut it off at the root. All right. Because when you cut it off at the root, you make sure you get the base of where it is, where it started, and so that it cannot come up in any form or fashion again. Amen. Do you remember when Jesus cursed the fig tree? Yes. He cursed the fig tree, and he told the tree that you will never, because you didn't bring forth the fruit that you need to bring forth, you will never serve a purpose again. And he cursed it. The Bible says he cursed it at the root. He went down underground and spoke to it and cursed it at the root so that it would not grow anymore. The disciples came back the same way they went and saw that the fig tree that Jesus spoke to had withered away. The Lord is helping us today to make sure we don't wither up and die. Amen. The Bible says, "Ye shall know the tree